Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I am so excited about sharing with you these DIYs that I have created for St. Patrick's Day, and they are for my tiered tray, and I'm just giving you a little sneak peek while I'm talking, and I can't wait to show you how it all looks together at the end of this video. So come along with me and let's get started. We're going to make a house for our tiered tray, and I'm going to use this arrow that sort of resembles a house and a sheet of scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. After removing the twine, I did not fill in those holes because I'm going to be covering this little arrow with my scrapbook paper, but if you're going to paint this instead of using scrapbook paper, I would probably go ahead and use some putty, and you can find that at the Dollar Tree. Just fill in those little holes with the putty and let it dry, sand it down, and then just paint over it. I'm going to use Mod Podge to attach my scrapbook paper, but you can use a glue stick, spray adhesive, whatever you may have on hand. But I am trying to use up this never-ending bottle of Mod Podge. As you will see in just a moment, I didn't quite get the paper long enough right there at that tip. I'm trying to pull it over, but it just did not work. But I went back and fixed that later with my white paint pen, and I just colored over that edge and you couldn't even tell it. And these little tiles came from Amazon, and I'm going to put the word bit of luck on the front of my house, and I'm using my gold paint pen. This came from the Dollar Tree as well, and I'm just going over each of the letters, and I will tell you I had to go over them like 3 times to ever get the gold to show up. And looking back on it now, and you'll see at the very end when I'm showing you how the finished look, I wish I had just left them black, but I love the idea of having it gold. You know, St. Patrick's Day gold. And I'm just hot gluing my letters to the front of the house and just trying to line them up as best I can. I'm going to use some jute twine from the Dollar Tree and just wrap it around my house. I think I did it like 3 times just to give it a little bit of embellishment and a little extra something. I'm just using more jute twine and just wrapping it around my fingers 3-4 times, pinching it in the center and just tying it off just to make a cute little bow. And these little decorative flowers, they came from Walmart. Found them back there where they have all their material and things like that. And I thought they were just so cute. I'm just going to pop one right in the center of my bow just to give it that little extra something. I really love how the gold letters look on the front of my little house, but whenever I put it on my tiered tray, they just did not show up at all, hardly. You could barely, as you can see right here, you could barely read what it says. So I used my blow dryer and softened up the hot glue and just replaced the letters on there, and it actually, to me, the black does look a lot better. I don't know, you guys tell me, which one would you prefer? We are going to be using these 4 wooden blocks that came from the Dollar Tree, And I'm just going to give each one of them a coat of the Waverly White chalk paint. And we're just going to be creating some stacking blocks to put on my tiered tray. After I've let my blocks completely dry, I'm going to use these letters from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to spell the word love. I bet you thought we was going to spell the word luck, but we are not. We're going to spell the word love. Well, everything except for the O, because I'm going to use a 4-leaf clover, and I'm going to show you my little trick with that. But I'm just placing these letters down as close to the center as possible. I'm not real good with that. Is anybody else like that? But anyway, I'm going to place the letters as close to the center as possible and just make sure I've sealed them down really well, because I'm going to cover them with another layer of paint. So essentially the white is my base color, and that's what color the letter will show through. If that wasn't very clear, you'll see what I'm doing here in just a minute. I am using the color Elephant by Waverly Chalk Paint, and originally I was just going to use as is, but as you'll see in just a second, when I started painting the block, it just looked so dark. So I did end up adding some white to it, and I just went back and forth until I got the color. You can see that's what I'm doing right here. I just went back and forth until I lightened it up and kind of got the color that I wanted. I should definitely have mixed more up, because I did run out and I was on the struggle bus trying to make this stuff match. You'll see on a couple of the blocks it didn't quite match, but I think I got it as close as possible. But I'm just going to give each of the blocks a coat of the gray paint, and I just covered the letters completely as well and just let it dry. I actually let it dry overnight to make sure that it wasn't going to peel the paint up. And I'm just using my little tool here to just gently lift the letters. And I just took my time and just gently, like I said, gently went around. I did still scrape the white in a couple of places, and I went back and used my white paint pen from Amazon and just kind of went over the little marks. But I was careful not to gouge it. I mean, it was just like a little tiny scrape. This is the only one that really gave me problems getting it off, but I went around and scraped off the little bit of white paper that was left on there, and you couldn't even tell it. Again, just take your time and the letters will just come right up. You see the little bag of like an Easter egg, the shamrock and things laying there to the side? I ordered those with a little house for a tiered tray from Amazon, and I am loving those. It has a Velcro on the back, and we're just going to add another little piece of Velcro to the center of the block. That way we can attach the little tag, ornament. I'm not real sure what you call them. What would you guys think you would call it? Anyway, that way we can switch them out for the different seasons. I just love these little gray blocks. I think they're just so cute. They really are just the perfect addition to my tiered tray. I have always wanted to add a rolling pin, or a mini rolling pin, to my tiered tray, so I ordered a pack of 6 from Amazon, and I'm just going to paint each of the little ends with Apple Barrel's Holly Branch. This is where you can get creative and decorate it however you want. You can paint the whole thing and just put letters on it, or stickers, or whatever it may be. But I decided just to paint the very tips, and then to add a strip of this leftover scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to add a fairly generous amount of Mod Podge to the back of my scrapbook paper and to the little rolling pin, and then just line it up as best I can, and then just smooth the scrapbook paper out. trying to press out any air bubbles or excess Mod Podge that might be under the paper. And just keep pressing it down and rolling it till you get it to the size that you want. And I just snipped it off. I did add some more Mod Podge there just to make sure that I get a really good seal on the edge of that scrapbook paper. And y'all, it really was that fast and that simple. And I think it is just such a cute and adorable addition to my tiered tray. So we're going to use this little gnome from the Dollar Tree and give him a little makeover and turn him into a leprechaun. And I'm just using a variety of paint from Apple Barrel. I believe I used the Holly Branch, Christmas Green, and Marsh Green as my 3 colors, and a little bit of white. And I'm just mixing them together until I kind of get the color that I'm looking for. I want his pants to be darker and his shirt a lighter green. As you can see, I wasn't real pleased with the color. I wanted it even darker for his pants. I just went back in and just mixed around all the greens until I found the color that I was looking for. I wanted his shirt to be a lighter green, so I just mixed in some white with the green paint that I already had mixed together until I finally found the color that I wanted, because in all the pictures that I see of leprechauns, their pants and shirts always a different color. And I decided not to paint his hat because it was already a dark green, so I just left it the color that it was already. Since he's a leprechaun, I wanted to make sure that his beard was orange, so I just took some Harvest Orange and Real Red by Apple Barrel as well, mixed it together until I got the orangey color that I think a leprechaun's beard should be, and just started painting. I love to paint. It just is so relaxing, and just put on some good music and just sit there and paint to your heart's content. Also went in and painted his little eyebrows orange as well. And if you mess up, just use the Q-tip like I did and clean it up. And I think he just turned out so precious. What do you think? Did I turn him into a leprechaun? Maybe he's a gnome leprechaun. But I just love him. For this DIY, we're going to use this wooden board from the Dollar Tree and also some of their window clings. And then I'm just going to start by giving my board a coat of white Waverly chalk paint. I let my sign dry completely before I'm going to add a really heavy layer of Mod Podge. And whenever I'm using a window cling, I really do like to use Mod Podge. It just seems to hold it on to the surface better. And I did go around the outer edge of my little cling and trim off all that excess plastic. It just seemed to help it blend in with the background of my board better. I'm just smoothing it out, making sure that I'm getting out all the excess air bubbles and maybe any excess Mod Podge that might be up under the little cling. And as you can see, I'm putting a fairly heavy coat of Mod Podge on top. And see the little gold, it looks like stars. I ended up removing those because I just didn't care for how they looked. And I added in the clovers. And then I went over those with Mod Podge. And I think my little rainbow sign looks perfect with my pot of gold and my little leprechaun. What do you guys think? I'm just in love with it. We're just going to make a quick little DIY with this white cup from the Dollar Tree and some more window cling. I'm still trying to use up that never-ending bottle of Mod Podge. And believe it or not, even after all these DIYs, I still had some left. And I'm just adding a good layer of the Mod Podge to my cup and just covering it really good. It kind of helps take down some of that shine from the cup. This is one of my favorite little DIYs whenever I need something quick and easy and inexpensive to add to my tiered trays. But just make sure you smooth it out really, really good, and then I add another layer of Mod Podge on top. I had originally planned to add the lips because, of course, the sign says "Kiss Me, I'm Irish," but they were just a little too big. So I tried to cut down, because there's two sets of them on the other set of window clings, and I tried to cut it down and it just didn't look right. So I decided to just add the shamrock.
Now tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Ready? Emotions repeating, though it's been so long. I know what you're thinking, I know.
So I've got one more cup and all of these clings, so I thought, just why not? Let's go for it. Let's make one more for the tiered tray. But I really did like this new shamrock clover, so we're just going for it. But seriously, whenever you need some additional items and you don't have a lot of money or you don't want to put out a lot of money, this is always a really good option and just really fast, and it truly does not take a lot of skill to do this. I think it's something that would be fun to do with your kiddos also. And I really am enjoying these. I thought they were just so cute.
Now there's no looking back. Now there's no looking back. You got me falling fast, falling fast.
And I am just so happy with how my St. Patrick's Day tiered tray turned out. You guys have got to let me know which one was your favorite. And as you can see, I did add some other things just from around the home. I've only bought a couple of new things this year, and I'll show you those in just a moment. But just pulling things from around your home, you can create something so cute. The little gnome and then this Not Lucky, Just Blessed sign. Those are the two new items I bought this year, and those came from TJ Maxx, and both of them were less than $5 each. But I thought they were just too cute not to buy. But everything else, like I said, came from around my home. Thank you so very much for stopping by today, and if you're still here, I truly appreciate it. Comment down below and tell me which of the DIYs was your favorite. And thank you again so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!